Marketplace buzzes with life, a symphony of bartering voices rising above the throng. Merchants display vibrant wares, their colors a feast for the eyes amidst the dusty streets. A tapestry of robes flows through the narrow passages, faces animated with commerce and gossip. Amidst the chaos, Mordecai's watchful gaze sweeps over the crowd, a silent guardian. Young Esther walks beside him, her presence a beacon of innocence in the bustling marketplace. Mordecai's eyes constantly scan, ensuring Esther's safety in the vibrant, unpredictable crowd. Candlelight flickers, casting long shadows as Mordecai, kind and wise, sits with Esther at a wooden table. Mordecai reads from the Torah, his voice filled with reverence, sharing the ancient words with Esther. Esther leans in, her eyes wide, as the stories of her ancestors come to life in the dimly lit room. She listens intently, absorbing the traditions and heritage passed down through generations. Sunlight blazes into the throne room as King Ahasuerus, flanked by advisors, holds court, his pride filling the opulent space. Ahasuerus gestures wildly, his face growing red as his voice booms, a storm gathering in the heart of the palace. Queen Vashti stands before him, regal and defiant, her eyes flashing with unspoken resistance. Queen Vashti refuses to obey the command of the king, declares the narration, sealing her fate with the king's rash decision. Esther, hidden beneath simple fabrics, walks among the palace women, her Jewish identity a secret. Gilded pillars reflect sunlight, framing the vibrant assembly within the royal harem. Esther lowers her head, attempting to disappear into the colorful background. Ornate windows cast light, illuminating the women gathered from every corner of the kingdom. She moves silently, a figure lost among many, her guarded secret a heavy burden. Soft light bathes Esther in her chamber as she sits pensively, a picture of serene beauty in the tranquil night. Haggai stands before her, his face a mask of respect, offering guidance with a delicate gesture. Remember, Esther, the king values beauty, Haggai says, his voice soft but firm. But he cherishes wisdom even more, Haggai continues, his eyes reflecting the lamplight. Let your grace be matched by your intelligence, Haggai advises, his words hanging in the air. I understand, Haggai, Esther replies, her voice filled with resolve. I will strive to embody both. In the grand throne room, King Ahasuerus surveys the women, his expression regal and discerning. His gaze halts, drawn by Esther's captivating beauty amidst the assembled women. A silent decision solidifies within him as he continues to look at Esther. Narration. He chooses her as his new queen, marking a pivotal turn in Esther's destiny. Sunlight floods Esther's chamber, highlighting the magnificent crown now resting upon her head. She stands tall, regal and poised, transformed into the Queen of Persia amidst the radiant glow. A flicker of inner conflict crosses her eyes, a subtle echo of Mordecai's grave counsel. The weight of her concealed identity settles upon her, a secret burden carried with grace. Her hands clench almost imperceptibly, a silent testament to the strength she must now embody. The fate of her people rests on her shoulders, hidden beneath the shimmering facade of royalty. Under the scorching sun, Mordecai stands vigilant near Susa's bustling city gates, a sentinel amidst the vibrant chaos. Hushed voices reach his ears, weaving a sinister plot that pierces through the lively city sounds. The shocking truth dawns on him: a conspiracy to assassinate King Ahasuerus is underway. Urgent action is needed. Mordecai sends word to Esther through a trusted messenger, setting events in motion. Sunlight floods Esther's chamber, illuminating her resolute figure as she stands before King Ahasuerus. Her clear voice cuts through the opulent setting, revealing a treacherous plot against the king's life. My lord, there is a plot against your life. Mordecai, a loyal servant, uncovered it, Esther declares. A royal scribe, meticulously records every word, the scratching quill punctuating the heavy tension. King Ahasuerus sits upon his throne as sunlight streams through the tall windows, illuminating the throne room. With a magnanimous gesture, King Ahasuerus promotes Haman, who stands beside him radiating arrogance. Haman strides forward, his voice dripping with authority as he demands that everyone bow before him. A murmur of discontent ripples through the courtiers, their faces a mixture of envy and apprehension. At the city gates of Susa, Mordecai stands firm, a solitary figure of defiance against the rising tide of Haman's power. Mordecai refuses to bow, his unyielding stance a direct challenge to Haman's authority and pride. A visible wave of fury washes over Haman's face, his features contorted with rage. Haman's eyes blaze with unconcealed anger, reflecting the depth of his contempt for Mordecai's insubordination. The air crackles with unspoken threats. The tension between the two men, a palpable force at the city gates. At the head of the ornate table, Haman's face burns crimson as he recounts a perceived slight. Mordecai refuses to show me respect. He will not bow. He will not kneel, Haman declares, his voice thick with rage. Suresh fans the flames. This insult cannot stand, my lord. Mordecai's defiance is an affront to your power. Advisor 1 warns, Mordecai is a Jew, loyal only to their own kind. Advisor 2 suggests, you must make an example of them all. Haman's eyes narrow, a cruel resolve hardening his features. The Jews are a disease, and I will be the cure. In the opulent throne room, Haman stands before King Ahasuerus, his voice a venomous whisper of false concern. Haman gestures wildly, weaving a tapestry of lies, depicting chaos and rebellion within the kingdom. King Ahasuerus listens, his brow furrowed, the seeds of doubt and worry taking root in his mind. These Jews, your majesty, are a cancer within our kingdom, Haman declares, his words dripping with malice. They are a threat to the stability of our great empire. Haman's accusations hang heavy in the air. In Susa, a royal decree echoes, casting long shadows of dread across the vibrant streets. Jewish faces, once bright with life, now reflect a shared sorrow as grim news spreads like wildfire. Worry lines deepen with each whispered word, etching despair onto the souls of the gathered people. A ripple of mourning sweeps through the crowded streets, a visible wave of collective grief. The lively market stalls stand in stark contrast to the heavy silence of impending doom. At the city gates of Susa, Mordecai rends his clothes in anguish, a solitary figure against the bustling backdrop. He covers himself in sackcloth and ashes, a stark symbol of grief and impending doom for his people. Mordecai's public mourning echoes through the city, a desperate plea etched in his every movement. His actions speak louder than words, a visceral display of sorrow and defiance in the face of annihilation. Sunlight streams into Esther's opulent chamber, casting a soft glow on the silk of her gown. Esther paces, her brow furrowed with deep worry as news of Mordecai's distress weighs heavily on her. The rustling of her gown echoes in the chamber, a stark counterpoint to the turmoil within her heart. She clutches a scroll, its delicate parchment a fragile shield against the horrifying decree. Lost in thought, Esther contemplates her next move, her mind racing with the gravity of the situation. In the palace courtyard, Mordecai's quill races across parchment, a desperate message taking form under his trembling hand. The royal crest is pressed, sealing not just words, but a silent, fervent prayer for salvation. Mordecai's voice echoes, a plea to Esther. Oh, Esther, you must intercede with the king. Oh, even if it means risking your own life. You are our only hope, he urges as the messenger vanishes. In the dimly lit chamber, Esther kneels, her hands clasped tightly in prayer. Worry etches lines into her face. Silence blankets the room as she seeks courage and guidance, her silent plea rising into the darkness. The weight of her impending decision presses heavily, a tangible burden in the quiet space. Each breath is a prayer, a desperate plea against the looming shadow of potential death. In the grand throne room, Esther, draped in royal robes, advances towards King Ahasuerus, her steps measured and regal. The king's gaze is intense as he watches Esther approach, the weight of her fate hanging in the balance. A moment of profound significance as King Ahasuerus extends his scepter towards Esther. The gesture of the scepter, a symbol of mercy, assures Esther her life is spared. The banquet hall glitters, ablaze with light as music fills the air, a symphony of power and opulence. Esther, radiant in her royal gown, a vision of grace before King Ahasuerus and the brooding Haman. Servants weave through the hall, bearing trays of delicacies, each a temptation in the gilded cage. Esther's voice, a delicate yet firm request, cuts through the murmur of the court. Your Majesty, I would be deeply honored if you and Haman would attend another banquet tomorrow night. A subtle tension hangs in the air as the king considers her invitation. Haman's eyes narrowed in thought. Flickering candlelight dances on opulent tapestries as Haman, in rich robes, holds court, his face flushed with pride. Haman proclaims, "The queen herself singled me out," he boasts. "Imagine, among all the nobles, she chose me to attend her banquet." A shadow crosses his face. Yet, this Mordecai, his defiance, is a constant irritation. Haman's voice drips with venom. It sours even the sweetest of victories. In the dim light of the king's chamber, King Ahasuerus tosses, his opulent bed a cage of sleeplessness. Flickering candles cast elongated shadows, painting the walls with his inner turmoil. Restless, he gestures to an attendant, his command a whisper in the vast room. "Bring me the royal chronicles," King Ahasuerus demands, his voice heavy with a king's decree. "I cannot sleep," he confesses, a rare glimpse of vulnerability in the powerful monarch. Sunlight floods the royal courtyard as Haman arrives, a sinister smile hinting at his dark intentions. King Ahasuerus reclines on his throne, listening intently as Haman seeks permission to hang Mordecai. "Haman, what honor should be bestowed on the man who has greatly pleased the king?" the king asks, his tone regal. Haman, blinded by pride, details the highest honors. "Thus shall it be done to the man whom the king delights to honor." A twist of fate alters Haman's scheme as the king commands, "Do so to Mordecai the Jew. Leave out nothing," the king orders, sealing Haman's humiliation and Mordecai's unexpected glory. In the opulent banquet hall, Esther stands before King Ahasuerus, her quiet strength a beacon amidst the glittering court. The air crackles with unspoken tension as Ahasuerus awaits, his gaze fixed upon Esther. "Your Majesty, I must reveal a truth that weighs heavily on my heart. I am a Jew," Esther declares, her voice resonating. Haman's smugness falters as Esther's revelation strikes like thunder. "Annihilate my people, the Jews." Ahasuerus rises, fury contorting his face. "What? Annihilate your people? By whose authority?" he roars. In the palace courtyard, King Ahasuerus gestures, his command echoing with royal power. Guards seize Haman, his struggles futile against their strength. The shadow of the towering gallows looms, a stark reminder of Haman's dark intentions. A cruel satisfaction gleams in the king's eyes as he nods, sealing Haman's fate. Mordecai stands tall, a beacon of hope amidst the unfolding drama, his elevation imminent.